As Ukraine's conflict with Russia drags on, the toll on Ukraine's armored forces continues to climb. Among the losses, Ukraine has reportedly lost about 40 of its 192 Leopard tanks, a heavy blow for such high-caliber tanks. Open-source investigative site Oryx, which compiles visual records of military losses, reports that 38 of these tanks have been lost so far, either destroyed, damaged, or abandoned. This includes 4 older-model Leopard 1A5s, 21 Leopard 2A4s, and 13 of the more advanced 2A6 variants. While these numbers are striking, they may not tell the full story. Oryx only records visually verified losses, meaning the actual count could be higher. Russian outlets claimed that footage from Ukraine's latest counteroffensive shows more tanks destroyed, hinting the real toll may be even worse than reported. Last year, when the first batch of the Leopard tanks arrived in Ukraine, they were hailed as a game-changer, powerful, highly mobile armor designed to give Ukraine a tactical edge over Russia's forces. With advanced targeting systems, explosive reactive armor, and exceptional mobility, these tanks were expected to turn the tide of the conflict, especially in the high-intensity skirmishes on the eastern and southern fronts. Yet, the mounting setbacks reveal that even the most advanced military equipment has limits in such intense combat. In fact, some analysts estimate that nearly 20% of Ukraine's Leopard fleet has already been knocked out. What's behind these losses? How has Ukraine adapted? And what does this mean for Russia? Let's take a closer look. The battlefield in Ukraine has become a tough environment for even the most advanced tanks, with new threats making it harder for them to survive. Anti-tank guided missiles, drones, and long-range artillery are proving very effective at taking out armored vehicles, no matter how high-tech they are. Russia has been aggressive in its anti-tank strategy, deploying weapons like Chrysanthema and Kornet missiles. Built to pierce through heavy armor, these missiles aim at vulnerable spots like the turret or armor joints, which are tricky to protect. Even tanks equipped with advanced reactive and composite armor like the German-made Leopard are struggling to hold up against these targeted attacks. According to Sergei Chemezov, CEO of the Russian defense company Rostec, the Kornet and Chrysanthema missiles can penetrate Leopard armor from virtually any angle, which makes them incredibly lethal in Ukraine's ongoing conflict. Chemezov stated in December 2023 that Russian forces have deployed these missiles extensively and have successfully taken down many Ukrainian armored vehicles, including the Leopards. But it's not just missiles that are making life difficult for the Leopards. Russian forces have brought a deadly mix of drones and artillery into the fold, using them to coordinate precise ambushes that often leave the Leopards outmaneuvered and trapped. Armed drones, especially the kamikaze drones equipped with explosives, are used to scout for tanks and identify their positions on the battlefield. These drones provide an aerial perspective that Russian forces use to guide ground units, making it easier to launch surprise attacks. Once a tank is identified, drones relay its location, allowing ground units with anti-tank missiles to set up positions for a well-coordinated strike. And the ambush doesn't end there. Artillery support plays a crucial role, adding another layer of firepower that makes it almost impossible for the tanks to escape. Once the tank is located and the ambush is in motion, Russian artillery units unleash a barrage on the surrounding area, trapping the tank in a deadly crossfire of missiles, drones, and artillery shells. Artillery is often used to pin down the tank, cutting off escape routes and forcing it to engage in a battle on unfavorable terms. This constant shelling restricts the tank's movements and often immobilizes it long enough for a final attack with anti-tank missiles. One example of this tactic's success came in October 2024, when the Russian Ministry of Defense reported destroying 6 German Leopard 2 tanks over the previous 4 months using first-person view drones. These operations, carried out by Russia's southern military district, focused on the Kharkov region, where drones were also targeting Bradley armored vehicles and Ukrainian communication centers. In response to recent losses, Ukraine has added extra protection to its tanks, including cage armor for the Leopards. This simple, low-cost upgrade, around $20,000 per unit, uses steel screens to deflect incoming projectiles. The armor can be installed quickly, within hours, offering an immediate boost in protection against anti-tank weapons. This approach mirrors NATO's use of similar modifications in Afghanistan to combat improvised explosive devices. To reduce further losses, Ukraine has also adjusted its tank deployment strategy. Leopard 1 tanks, which have lighter armor than the Leopard 2, are now used in more secure locations or as part of smaller, less visible units. These tanks serve well for defense, but are less effective in high-intensity combat, where anti-tank systems and drones dominate. The more advanced Leopard 2 is reserved for tougher operations, though it also faces challenges in Ukraine's muddy battlefield conditions. But while the cope cages offer some protection against drones, they're not foolproof. In close-quarters combat, where attacks can come from all directions, it's still tough to defend against multiple threats at once. For Russia, destroying a Leopard tank is a big win, particularly because it symbolizes advanced military technology backed by NATO. The Russian Ministry of Defense even awarded soldiers from the Zapad group a 500,000 ruble bonus, around $5,358, for taking out a Leopard 2 in the Kupiansk region last year. Russia is also set to gain from the captured Leopard tank. A 2A6 model was reportedly transported to Russia's Uralvagonzavod factory for close analysis. While KNDS, the tank's manufacturer, assures that the Leopard doesn't contain highly classified tech, its advanced design and components could still offer valuable insights into Western armor systems. Russian media quickly highlighted the capture, hinting that exposing the Leopard's inner workings might hurt its reputation and export prospects. However, KNDS says Russia would struggle to reverse engineer its complex systems due to their advanced design and manufacturing methods. Well, that's all for today, and thanks for watching.